Hey there, let's take a look at the masking interface. It's over here on the right hand side, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th icon down. When I click on it, it opens up to what is available to me in the masking. We have select subject, select sky, brush, linear gradient, radial gradient, color range, luminance range, and notice depth range is grayed out because this is not a depth range image. So when you click on something such as the linear gradient, a mask appears, a new window up here. Once we start this, we just draw down. I'm going to make a linear gradient, and then I can come up here and I can play with the exposure or the blacks or the whites. Let's do highlights down. Let's push that exposure back up a little bit. Just give it a little bit of something happening. Notice it's crooked. I can always come in here after the fact and realign things. Okay, that's looking pretty good. So now I have a mask. If I want to create a second mask in here, I can click this plus, and it shows me all of those options we just had to the right. So this time I'm going to use a brush. And I'm just showing you examples here. Now we have mask 1 and a new mask. So with this brush, I'm going to make the brush smaller, and I'm just going to paint along here just to kind of show you. And what can I do here? I can play with shadows. I can make it brighter. I can play with your highlights. So I can be really specific. I'm going to make it darker. I'm going to pop the whites a little bit, make it just look a little different. We'll pull the contrast down. Okay, so now I've got two masks. I can rename these masks so I know what they are down the road. Under more options, click, and I can put linear sky. Be specific when naming so that you know what the masks are. And what is mask 2? What is that thing called? Yellow, let's see, brush, yellow bumper. I'll call it that since I'm not sure. So now I've got two masks going. I can turn the eyeball on and off to see what the different masks are doing. I'm not getting a lot of bang for my buck on that yellow bumper, so maybe I'll just push it down even further, push the shadows down, and just so we can really see more of what's happening. I'm only doing that for the example. You do it subtly to make it look good, make it look to your desired want. So I've got two masks in there. I can even create a third mask. Let's do another linear gradient. This time I'm going to draw up from the bottom into here, and we're going to darken it down, pull down the whites a little bit. We don't want it to look yucky though. We don't want it to look flat and dull. We want it to have some depth to it. But I'm just darkening it down to push our eye up to the building. Pop that contrast. Let's see what that's looking like. Oh, look at the difference. Now, if I don't like what's happening over here, I can subtract with the brush. And I can take that edit off of this area. Okay, so even though I did a linear on part of this, I have control to remove it. Let's hop down here. Off, on, off, on. Okay, lots of control throughout the process. Jump in, start playing. That is the key to success with any of these tools. The more you use them, the more natural it's going to become. A lot of times I would do some of this stuff in Photoshop. Sometimes it makes more sense to use Photoshop. Sometimes it makes more sense to use Adobe Camera Raw. When is it back? And I go back and forth. So if I really want subtle control, a lot of times I'm going to be using masking. I'm going to try to get everything I can done here before I hop into Photoshop. One of the things I don't like in ACR is the healing. So I'm always going to do my healing in Photoshop, just as one little thing. And you're going to find things that you like to do better in one over the other. But because of the depth of control here, I like to do a lot of my masking here nowadays. So keep going, keep playing. You are on your way.